Hello, everybody. We're here at Bentley's Boutique at 4744 West Madison. Sabrina is the owner of Bentley's Boutique, and we are here with Chicago Mayoral candidate Frederick Collins. And we thought it would be a grand gesture to do something inside of the community. As we know, we have a lot of candidates running. We have uh, election coming June 28th in 2023, we will be voting for a mayor. But what you don't see is your candidates who actually walk through the community. You don't see candidates who actually sit down with the community and get their perspective, how they feel in the community about certain things that's going on. So today we are here with Frederick Collins, mayor candidate for Chicago. So Frederick, introduce yourself to everybody.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity to come and speak with you guys today. My name is Frederick Collins. I'm a 29-year veteran Chicago police officer, a father of 3 children, as well as a grandfather of 3 children. I'm also a community activist.
All right, so we have some questions. The first question is, why do we have so many red light cameras, and how will you handle red light cameras? Can you clarify what purpose the red light cameras serve, and how do they provide revenue for the city? And if the red light cameras can give detailed information from all 4 corners, why aren't they used for criminal activity?
Well, that's a very good question. One that I've asked since the implementation of red light cameras. Red light cameras, number one, are illegal. The only way a driver is supposed to get a moving violation, which is what red light cameras are used for right now, is if it's given by a police officer. Only police officers physically can issue moving violations. That is state law. And the fact that we have these red light cameras giving out tickets for moving violations is illegal, number one. It has been used by past city administrations as only a fiefdom to take away from the citizens of Chicago, take their hard-earned money out of their pockets. So as the next mayor, I would change that. And what I would do is we would take them away from being red light cameras to being safety cameras. So that they would only be used in the implementation of solving crimes. If we have enough police, they can issue moving violations. We don't need the red light cameras for that. They should simply be used when there's a crime. As the next mayor of the city of Chicago, I would turn around and program them to be safety cameras. Because once again, it is an illegal thing that the city is doing and using red light cameras. Look the law up for yourself. Moving violations are only to be issued by law enforcement police officers physically, who see you physically commit a traffic violation.
Okay. Well, we learned something today about that because I didn't know. I've got a couple of red light camera tickets, and they're not cheap.
No, they're not.
So, next question. What will you do about gatherings on the corners and the excessive amount of liquor stores in our community? Will there be fines for any businesses who allow groups of people to hang out in front of the businesses?
Well, I think one thing we have to take a look at is most businesses don't want people hanging out in front of them. But for those who do allow illegal activity in front of them, we definitely would have inspectors and officers to inspect those businesses and issue citations and warnings. But I want to be a friendly business mayor, one that helps to grow business, especially in one's community. I think businesses should reflect the community in which they serve. So for me, it is about making sure that we work in partnership with businesses and make sure that our officers are familiar with the community enough to know where there are problem spots at, and then to address those issues through community policing, but real community policing, not just the title.
Okay. When you said in the other interview, Chicago has a spending problem, can you elaborate?
Oh, I most certainly can. Chicago truly has a spending problem. If you take a look at downtown and on the north side, certain parts of the east side, there's been development, huge development. However, there has been nothing to preserve the communities that were there before the development. We have homeowners who have lived in their homes 30, 40 years, some even longer than that, 3 generations longer than that. But they are pushed out by new development. That's not the type of mayor I want to be for the city of Chicago. I want to make sure that we build up every neighborhood and community while being able to retain those who have an investment in those communities. Those families that have been there for generations, we don't want them priced out. We want to bring opportunity to them to be able to stay there, which is one of the reasons why, as the next mayor of the city of Chicago, I will impose a 15-year property tax freeze. That's right, a 15-year property tax freeze for homeowners, commercial property owners, and business owners. That is so important, especially with the pandemic, which has done financial harm as well as loss of life to all of us. But it will give homeowners a chance to stay in their home. It will give business owners a chance to build and keep their businesses alive. And for commercial property owners, it will be able to help keep low rent for their renters and their investors.
Okay. Why are outside investors allowed to come in the South and West Side, invest in the community, and once they settle in with their businesses or housing, they raise the prices or ignore those in the community? Why are they allowed to purchase property and leave them vacant?
Well, once again, that's poor leadership. You know, God's words, it says, to whom much is given, much is required. And we have to require true leadership in this city that reflects the will of the people. That's why we elect them, to impose the will and the needs and wants of our community and our neighborhoods. We can't allow outsiders just to come in and ignore the communities that have been there and settled there for generations. We must improve. I am all for diversity. I think diversity is a strength, and one of the reasons why Chicago is truly such a great and a strong city. But we must be cautious and respectful of those who are already there.
Okay. You said children will speak two languages. How will you teach children who learn differently? Example for those who have dyslexia.
Well, we will bring in the necessary. If you take a look at my blueprint on my website, Chicago Public School Safety Plan, it talks about adding 1 to 2 teacher aides. It talks about bringing in at least 2 nurses for every school. This is so important. But if we want our children to be able to truly compete on a global stand, we must make sure that our children are multilingual and culturally enhanced. And that means making sure they speak both Spanish and English, starting in Head Start. Can you imagine the generation that comes out from every public high school being able to speak 2 languages and also already have an associate degree? Absolutely. Under my administration, this will happen.
Okay. How will you handle mental issues that plague our community?
Well, one of the things we've got to do is, we know under the past administration, they've ignored those with truly mental issues in schools, but rather 7 facilities that would handle those with mental issues were closed under the Rahm Emanuel administration. And we know that after Rahm Emanuel, this mayor has done absolutely nothing. Lightfoot has done absolutely nothing to address this issue. But when we talk about mental issues, we also have to talk about the homeless out there on the streets. There will be no tent cities in the city of Chicago. To me, that is inhumane. They are human beings, they are family members, they are loved ones. They should be in a building that has the facility in which to treat and address their social issues.
All right. The topic of conversation is crime. And with this increasing tremendously, the voters are concerned. You stated that most of it are younger ages that are the ones that is committing the crime. Some reason is because of the no chase policy. What can you do as mayor to get the younger generation to calm the crime down so communities can feel safe?
It is so important in every neighborhood, in every community, and in our city for there to be a feeling of safety. That does not exist today. As the next mayor of the city of Chicago, I will impose policies because policies do matter. Policies help to govern in which we are able to live within law and order and within safety and a feeling of hope. And so one of the things I'm going to do is repeal those policies that have been enacted by the last administration, under the Lightfoot administration, such as no chase. You've got to be kidding me. The minute you tell criminals you're not going to chase them, crime went up 500%. That's right, 500%. Now we have broad daylight shootings, broad daylight carjackings. This is absolutely unacceptable and no way that any society should have to live. because no society can truly exist without law and order.
Okay. There seems to be a lot of fingers pointed when issues arise with our elected official, and no one seems to want to take ownership. How can you make the people feel comfortable and knowing you will be the mayor of transparency, no matter how difficult it may be?
Well, the number one thing to do is what my mother taught me, and that is God gave you two ears and one mouth so that you would listen twice as hard as you speak, because through listening, you learn more and you're able to address those issues that are important to those whom you serve. And so that's what I'm going to do. And people will see and feel a sense of hope and responsibility and transparency from this man, because I will be a mayor out there in the neighborhoods that will listen.
Okay. There are a lot of departments that are under the Mayor of Chicago authority. Some workers have complained how the city have treated them as faithful employees and stated that in some situations there have been instances of favoritism. How will you handle those cases?
Well, we want everybody to have an even level playing field. So one of the things we will do is a brand new ethics policy. Not only that, but a Bill of Rights for employees of the city of Chicago. That's right, a Bill of Rights for the citizens, for the employees of the city of Chicago. There will be a Bill of Rights that will come from them and their concerns to make sure that every employee in the city of Chicago is treated fairly.
Okay. In prior interviews, you mentioned about the block grants and TIF funds. Can you elaborate their purpose and how they are to help the community?
Well, this has been one of the things that I've talked about probably the last 20 years, in the fact that community block grants came into existence in 1979 through the United States Congress. Community block grants are specifically to be used so that they can take care of impoverished neighborhoods and be able to address social issues as well as physical issues such as fixing up abandoned buildings, helping to create job opportunities, giving assistance to homeowners. Citizens are making sure that all have a right and a play in which to get funding for their communities. And it's so important because these are taxpayer federal dollars that can help us to make a community thrive. And that's what we really want to do. We want to make sure that every community has that financial opportunity to grow. And that's what community block grants are for. Now, TIF money is an acronym for tax increment finance. And that's so important because what it does is it takes a percentage of the taxes paid by us, the citizens, to be able to give back some of that money and reinvest it into our communities so that it can also help the communities to flourish and to grow. And this is so important because what it does is give us an even level playing field. However, the city in the past has been fined by the federal government for taking these tax dollars and these program federal dollars and putting them elsewhere. That will stop under my administration.
As of late, because of crime, the high cost to live in Chicago, businesses are fleeing the city. The latest is Caterpillar, who has corporate office here. What can you do as mayor to change the departure of businesses?
Well, we've got to have a business agenda and a working relationship with businesses in the city of Chicago. This is so important. Businesses create jobs. Jobs help to grow our tax base, as well as help to give opportunity to those to become first-time homeowners, to raise a family, to go out and build a business. We want to make sure in Chicago that we lower most of the outrageous taxes put on businesses. Some of them don't even make sense when you take a look at them. But under my administration, we will be working in a partnership and create a friendship like never before with businesses in the city of Chicago.
Chicago is known for filmmaking, TV shows, big outdoor events, yet we don't know where the money goes. Do you have an idea?
Oh, I certainly do. If you can just look at some of the indictments in City Hall, there's a thiefdom right there in City Council. And when I become mayor, you can best believe we're going to take a look at where the money's at, where it's been going, and how it's been spent.
Okay. How can we assist with those who are coming home from prison?
This is so important. Second chances, I do believe in, and even sometimes third chances. When a person has paid debt to society. We as society must do all we can to help them out, those who want help. But for those who continue down that wrong way path, we have a place for you. And as the next mayor of the city of Chicago, I'll make sure that cell door is ready for you.
What kind of incentive programs do you have to bring guns in?
Well, my thing is to keep guns out. I don't think you have to bring them in if you work on keeping them out. This is going to have to work in conjunction with state, local, and federal authorities to create intelligence, as well as in our high schools, our grammar schools, and on our streets and in the neighborhood to find out how these guns are continually getting in the hands of our children. And I will make sure that happens. I have nearly 30 years of law enforcement experience of being a Chicago police officer and working the streets. I've worked the streets for almost 30 years, but more importantly, I grew up in a poor neighborhood. I understand the cultures of every diverse neighborhood and what to look for. There'll be no hiding spots from this man. We will be a law and order city.
It seems to be that as restructuring some streets, Madison moving close to Pulaski is set to change those who live in the community, extend downtown further west. Are these projects undermining the community?
I believe anytime you don't have clear input from the community as to what they like to see, I think you undermine any community. And that has got to stop. We don't need to push the poor out or the middle class out to bring up an area. We need to simply listen and invest and follow their will.
Okay. How can we create more business owners in our community? Some see that there is not a balance. We have liquor stores and beauty supply stores in our community that are from other nationalities.
Well, once again, Chicago has very diverse communities, very diverse neighborhoods. But one has to understand the culture of each one of those. And it is upon any executive of this great city to make that effort to go into those communities and on a one-on-one basis, find out what the needs, wants, and the thoughts are of those communities. And I'll do that as mayor. I've done it all my life. I continue to do it. And you can bet that's exactly what will happen. I'm interviewing for the job of the mayor of the city of Chicago because I want to work for you, the citizens. That's what I want to do, is work for you.
How can we assure businesses they can feel safe and secure knowing that they have a business in any community?
Well, once again, this falls within public safety. We've got to make sure, number one, that Chicago is a safe city, that every citizen in every community and every neighborhood feels safe and understand that they have a huge relationship and a trusted relationship with law enforcement. And that happens day by day, minute by minute, hour by hour. And as the next mayor of the city of Chicago, I'll certainly see to it. And the training and the relationships and the involvement that we place upon our law enforcement officials and our community leaders.
We have an abundance of closed schools. I know you mentioned that you will open up some for training. What will your plan be for the others? Can some of these abandoned schools be turned into some kind of housing? I understand that a lot of them that's homeless do not want to go through the process. How will you handle it?
Well, once again, it's putting together and going and addressing the communities as to what their needs are. But another thing is, this really touches my heart. Those who are homeless out there come from our families. These are our loved ones. And they deserve better than to sleep outside on the cold, hard sidewalks and streets. It's unsanitary, number one, and it's inhumane. We can change all of that. But here's what we need to do. There are some treasures and silver linings. We have our churches and our non-for-profits, which can assist us in doing this. We don't have to go it alone. We all can win. And that means working together and addressing these issues, as well as using the social programs that the city has up under to address these issues of helping the homeless, as well as those families that are out there sleeping on the street. We've got over 300 city buildings that are vacant that we're paying to keep heated and cooled all year round. We can utilize some of these buildings to make this happen.
Okay. What will you do about carjacking? Should there be something stronger for carjacking? And another part to the question is, what about the women coming up missing on the south side? Last month, there was a gathering of women downtown making sure that the cases are not forgotten. Once a case woman was found in an abandoned building. How will you handle abandoned building garages and businesses?
Well, this is a huge issue. You have to make sure, number one, you address common sense issues where there are broken sidewalks, potholes, vacant lots that haven't been, grass hasn't been cut, abandoned buildings where there's no one assuming responsibility for them. The city must take responsibility for all these things. The first, address the physical issues of it, making sure that every alley has lit lights to make sure that you can see there are no dark alleys in the city of Chicago. The other thing in addressing these issues of our missing women, our children who are used for sex trafficking and so forth, I'm going to promote 3,000 brand new detectives to address these issues as well as cold cases. Right now, we don't have enough detectives, period, that are assigned and are able to be detectives. They've been put in uniform and taken downtown. And we see how that plan has worked out. That's why when I become mayor of the city of Chicago, we're going to take Brown down and put him out of town. It's time we had a new superintendent who understood the culture and is from Chicago, born and raised in Chicago.
In the past, a lot of promises to communities were made: housing, pharmacies, and grocery stores. Yet it seemed that the promise of past administrations have betrayed the citizen with an extensive time frame, which will void out future administration decisions. How will you handle it?
I think the best way to handle anything, once again, is to listen to the needs of the community. You're not going to be able to address one issue if you first don't listen to the people. It's just not going to happen. And we see in the past administrations that they want to lead from top down. No, it needs to be leadership from bottom up. That's how it has to happen. The mayor is an employee of the citizens of Chicago. Nothing will change or get better for any of us as citizens if we continue to elect leadership that does not listen to us and does not advocate on our behalf.
How can you create a balance of business that will meet the community needs on the south and west side? It used to be community cleanup, but that seems not to be anymore. Businesses sit inside of south and west sides, and some don't keep their business clean. How can we change this?
Well, through policies. Number one, we have to make policies. But this goes back to making sure we listen to the community. They know how they want their businesses to be, and they know how they want them to function. And they know the responsibility that they want these businesses to carry. It all goes back to listening. This is a job that I am interviewing for. I have been a public servant since 17 years old. I've worked with the public and it's always been about serving others. That's what I want to do as your next mayor. But it also has to be about policies. Keep this in mind. Policies matter.
Okay, that concludes all my questions. So I'm going to ask my audience members, do they have any questions that they would like to ask that you're concerned about? What are your concerns in the community in which you reside?
My question is, like a senior citizen, um, how can you make our life better as senior citizens? When we go to places to get them, we have to be last somebody. We have the, we just don't come across respect senior citizens and senior citizens. Nowhere you go these days. How can you put an end to that?
It's a very good question. Something that's also dear to my heart. I took care of my mother who had cancer for 30 years, my grandparents. I understand the importance and the wealth of knowledge that comes from our seniors and the debt that they've already paid to bring the next generation forward. And they're owed that amount of respect. We're going to make sure that, number one, any business has parking for seniors and makes allowances for seniors, that there's respect for them. But more also, you're going to see a bigger police presence through the neighborhood so that grandparents can feel safe letting their grandchildren play on the porch and across the street in the park. This is truly a blessing to have our seniors in our community. But also, I want to put together a city national, across the board, senior board that addresses senior issues and work within our city departments to make sure that issues that are important to our seniors are taken into account.
I want to piggyback on what Mother just said because as of late, if you drive through various communities, we see a lot of senior facilities popping up. And I know at one time, you know, seniors, you weren't supposed to live as long as they live now. But now their life expectancy is longer. And so now a lot of these companies are investing and they're gaining financially by popping up senior facilities. Now, when they pop up the senior facilities, the rent is just like regular rent. So if a senior is living on a once a month income, how can they afford regular rent? And why is those in the administration allowing these buildings to pop up?
Well, see, that's the reason why we need policy changes. But also, we need the advice of seniors to know what's important to them and what hardships they suffer from. Then we can address those issues. But when it comes to the facilities, we will have inspectors out quarterly to check those facilities. This is so important. And to make sure that they have proper staffing. And when they don't, they not only will be cited, but we will work hand in hand with the state to make sure that they do what is required of them.
I have one more thing that I'm going to let Bishop ask this question. Is there a chance that because a lot of seniors probably would get more out of not being in house if we had one of the schools that we can convert to like a senior facility that they can go, maybe we can have a library or a game room or spa room or whatever. There's a possibility that can become useful in one of the abandoned schools?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's more than a possibility. There again, listening to what seniors deem to be important to them. That's the kind of mayor I'm going to be. A mayor who works on your behalf, listens to you, and abides by your wishes and your will, and governs accordingly. That is so important.
Okay. Bishop, you have a question?
Yes, I would like to ask this question pertaining to the churches. I would like to know, will there be more system churches on the west side and not just certain ones?
Absolutely. I talk about it in my plan, how I'm going to take $1.5 billion to go towards churches and nonprofits because they play such a huge role in society and to help making sure that those who are less fortunate or those who have special needs to be able to still live in our society and be able to still have a peaceful and joyous life. We want to make sure that those who have less opportunities have that spirituality and that companionship and that relationship with our non-for-profits and churches that can give them that help in those regards, such as housing, IDs, education, job opportunities, job training. This is so important. I really look at this approach in governing in Chicago as a team sport. Together, we all can win.
Okay, to piggyback off what Bishop said, we know that there are certain churches who have gained a lot from different funds from the city of Chicago. And like Bishop said, how even the playing field for everybody. But also, churches are important for the needs of the community. Um, Spirituality is a big thing.
Absolutely.
It really is.
Builds confidence.
It does. But when churches are struggling themselves to stay afloat, that's where it becomes a problem. So how can we make people feel comfortable in knowing that because some people I've spoken with, they're concerned that certain individuals have gotten certain things and the churches that they actually get the services from are left out.
Well, once again, it's about listening. It's about making sure that policies are changed that benefit us all and not just the few or the connected. That won't happen. It's one of the reasons why I talk about day one, becoming mayor of the city of Chicago with new ethics reform. Right now, an alderman is only a 4-hour part-time job with full-time benefits. That will come to an end. The people have full-time issues and full-time problems. And under my administration, an aldermanic position will now be a full-time job.
Okay. Your question?
I have a question, but more of a statement. I just want to say that I appreciate you running for mayor, Mr. Frederick Collins, Officer Frederick Collins, because there's a lot of candidates that are running that have a lot of stuff in their background. And I did do some research on you, and I did find that you do not have a lot. You don't have anything in your background. So I think that Chicago needs a fresh face. Someone with some new ideas, and someone that's going to really make our neighborhood safe. And I just wanted to thank you for sharing your ideas with the community.
Well, thank you so much. I'm running to be the next chief executive of this great city, mayor of the city of Chicago. Not to be the next black mayor, not to be the next short mayor, not to be the next chubby mayor, but to be the mayor of all people. That's what I really want to do. I want to work for the citizens of Chicago. I've done public service for nearly 30 years, but since I was 17 years old, I volunteered through my church and non-for-profit groups in trying to make each community throughout this city better through a helping hand. If you give me this opportunity and vote for me, February 28, 2023, I promise one thing. I'll be the best employee under your opportunity to become mayor of the city of Chicago. And that's the way I look at it. The mayor is the employee of the people. The people have a right. Thank you.
The one thing that I would like to ask, if it's possible, how would you go about doing these things? The last question that I asked about medicine, how would you go about putting that into affirmation?
Well, the first thing is to sit down with them on each side of Chicago and to listen to what their needs and concerns are. This truly is real leadership. No general can issue anything into the battlefield without knowing what the troops truly need. They are on the front line. And so it takes sitting down and listening. The problem is the past administrations don't listen at all. And when you try to reach out to them, you can't get them. Can't get them on the phone, can't get an appointment unless you're some rich multi-billionaire. That has got to stop. As next mayor of the city of Chicago, I will answer to the people. I will work for the people of the city of Chicago, all the people.
Okay. Well, I want to take this time and I want to say to those who will watch on the replay, I want you to share this and I want you to listen to the heart of the candidates. I want you to do your due diligence and do your research. Time has passed for us just placing people in the seat. We sit behind closed doors on a daily basis. We watch news, we look at social media, and we see the issues that plague the various communities. You are the voice. So be the change that you want to see. We can't afford to continue to sit behind closed doors and complain about things that we want to change when we have the power in our vote to make that difference. And in our communities especially, I know you all feel hopeless. I know some of you feel helpless. I know you feel that your trust has been broken. I understand that. I felt as you have felt too. But you can't give up the fight. Change will not come overnight. It is a process. But you have to make that conscious decision in your mind to step up to the plate. And as I say, be the change you want to see.
Absolutely.
If you want your community to be better, be the change you want to see in your community. If you want those seats to change, be the change that makes sure those seats change. We can no longer, time has far spent that we just sit here twiddling our thumbs and complaining and do nothing about it. We expect everybody else who's on the front line to do the work that you can do yourself. So you have a voice. God has given you that voice. He's given you a good, clear, conscious mind. Use it for what's right. If you don't do it for yourself, look at them babies' face. Look in their face every day because you're not promised to live to see tomorrow. And their dream and their future is in your hands. And if you don't do nothing about it now, they won't have no future. You see it every day. We see it on the news. And for me, and I'm sure I can speak, we're tired of seeing the tragic reports that's happening. Bullets being sprayed. You can't catch public transportation. You can't sit in your car 2 seconds. You can't walk on your front porch. You can't sit in your living room. You can't have a birthday party for your kids in your backyard. When will you say enough is enough?
Today.
When will you say enough is enough?
Say it today.
And it's time to say it today. And say it with your vote in 2023. And say it on June 28th in your vote. And we can make the difference.
Yes,
We will make a difference. And they need to listen because, as Colin said, they are your employees. And we, the constituents, the voters, the registered voters, are the employer.
That's right.
When you go to anybody's company, they provide you rules and regulations of the company. If you don't follow the rules and the regulations of the company, you are instantly terminated. They give you a pink slip. So why do we have such difficulties giving those who don't take care of our communities a pink slip?
That's right.
It's time to pass the pink slips out. All right. I want to thank Officer Frederick Collins, who's running for mayor candidate for Chicago.
Thank you so much.
What is your website where people can check out your platform?
For more information on my platform as the next mayor of the city of Chicago, please visit my website at www.collinsforchicago2023.com. Once again, that website is www.collinsforchicago2023.com.
Do you have any social media outlets they can follow you on?
Yes, please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube.
All right. Again, we thank Frederick Collins for stopping by and sitting with those in the community. Pay attention to your candidates, people. He's sitting in the community with those who have concern, who reside in the community. All right. Thank you for tuning in. Have a good one.